Alright guys, back in the forge today. I'm making some candlesticks. Starting with a 3/4 inch pipe, just black pipe. You get at any big box store. We're bringing that over and using what's called a spring fuller. This is a tool that I made for the anvil, and it just helps you get the crimps in your pipe that you need. You start off by sticking in that bend in the spring fuller there, and you start turning it as you tap it, and it helps start that crimp. But you gotta be careful, because if you hit it too hard, you can kink that thing, and then it's a disaster from there on out trying to fix it. So just try to keep it lined up as best you can. Small taps, and you can see it already starting to lose the heat there. So we'll get it in and heat it back up here. This is going to be one of 3 different candlesticks. You can see we're already starting to get a crease there in it, just like we want. And as you go, it starts to get easier to turn. You can tap it a little faster as you go. Biggest thing is you got to keep that thing straight. It does cause problems, and I did have to fix some problems in this one because I didn't keep it exactly straight, but that's kind of how it goes. You can see there how it's starting to get the crimp that we want. Now we're going to go over to the narrow part of that fuller, keep turning it, keep crimping it until it gets down to the desired size that we want to see. You can see I got the back end of it up just a little bit more than I'd like right there, and that's the part I was talking about where you're going to have to fix it again later, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Alright, then we get that one done, we're going to go on to the next one. Had to line this one up fairly close, so you can see we went from that yellow heat, now we're already down to red heat. So I decided to go ahead and start my crimp here, but wasn't expecting a whole lot, just because the duller it gets, the harder it gets to work. But I wanted to at least get that line started, so I get a notch in there to work off of the next time. So the next part here is flaring out the ends, so they have like a candle holder look to them, and just do that by going over the end of the horn here, giving a little bit of an angle, so it starts as you're hitting the hotter metal there at the end. It'll start bending and flaring out at the end of that. You're going to do that on both ends. So this end here is, I don't remember which end this was, but one end is going to be obviously what holds your candle, so that'll be flared out a little bit more, and then back into the furnace. But then the other end will be what goes to the base, and you want that to be flared out as well, not quite as much. Here's another view of it. But as you go, you just keep lifting up higher and higher to be able to get that flare to work for you. You gotta be careful though, because you can kink that, and nothing makes you madder when you get to this point and you ruin your piece. There's some fixing you can do, but you gotta be careful to do it right. So it's better just to do it right the first time and be done with it. Here we come back, and you got to fix some of those ding marks that are in there that you don't want in there. And also on this particular stick, because I made a set of 3, on this particular stick I wanted it to be more of a ball shape on the center. So I'm just rolling over the end of the anvil there and taking out that corner there. By hitting it at this angle, I'm knocking off the top corner. I'm also knocking off the bottom corner on the anvil as I strike it. So and it just kind of turns that into more of a ball shape there. It's more aesthetically pleasing, if you will. So this is another tool that I made for the anvil, just a bending fork. That's all it is just a fork. And as you're beating on these things, it doesn't take much. They get weak points and they start bending in the wrong directions and not being straight. So that's what the bending forks are nice for, is to be able to kind of straighten that thing back out as best you can. And this is an ongoing process as you're going through. It's a tap here, a bend there, rolling it back and forth, putting it up in front of you, trying to figure out, is it straight, and not as easy as you would think. But it's kind of fun to be able to correct. I forgot to film making the plates, the base plates. So this is the base plate already done, but I cut off an old extinguisher that I put on top of my anvil, and I take a ball from a truck hitch and just knock that down into that concave area there, and that gives us the arc that we need for that base, and then kind of tap out the ends a little bit so those don't dig into the tabletop. Once that's done, we'll bring those bases over here for the drill press. This is the only part of the process where I actually use power, the drill press. Get the center hole punched so that we can line our candlestick up on that. So we've got 3 of those to do. It's got a little clamp. I don't have any proper clamps for my drill press, so I'm using a pair of long vice grips here to be able to hold that in place. But it seems to do the trick. We get that hole drilled out a little bit there, and I had to go at this one twice. I can't remember why, but either way, it just makes room for that bolt to be able to go through that base into the candlestick itself. Then we got to do the same thing with the candlesticks. And like I said before, I don't have any clamps for my drill press, so this was kind of a hang on to it and pray that the thing doesn't get all out of whack and smack you in the knuckles or something, so hence the glove. But I didn't force it too fast, and didn't spin on me or anything, and I was able to get that hole drilled in the base of that candlestick, and all 3 of them actually, in order to get done what we need to get done. Then the last thing we got to do here, I drilled the hole, but we need to make we need to tap it, I should say, so that there's threads in there. What I would do on a short candlestick is just run a rod through there and pound over the end of the rod, and as it was hot, and it would hold it together. Well, these, if I have a long rod to go through that base into the candlestick, if I go pounding on a hot rod, it's really long. It's just going to bend, and it's not going to hold that candlestick and base together like I want it to. So by doing this, by tapping that hole in the base of that candlestick, then I can come back with a bolt and go through the base into the candlestick and screw the 2 together. Alright, here we are with the base and the candlestick all done. And just screw those 2 together. I had 3 different size bases, or 2 different size bases. I had 2 small ones and 1 large one for the center tall candlestick. But it's pretty simple. Once you do it right, if you do it right, it should screw right in with no problem at all. There you go. You have a candlestick. So this is the end result. I apologize, I forgot to show you guys how I seal those. Which basically I just get them hot and put some beeswax on them to seal them. It gets down in the pores of the metal and seals it and prohibits rust and whatnot. But that was the end result. They were fun to make. It took me a little longer than I thought they were going to, just because there was some learning to go on in there, but managed to get them done. Pretty happy with them. The person I did them for was very happy with them, so all in all, it's a win. So there you go, guys. That's how you make how you forge a set of candlesticks. Thanks for watching, and hope you all are doing well. Till next time, you take care.